6 o'clock. Time to call the August 28th Parker Board meeting to order. From staff, we've got Deborah Shansky. We've got our new CFO, Jason Leslie, Rebecca Tejada, James Roach, and Gary Fidgey. Asking, I'm still stumbling on it. As well as Ron Red, our district manager, and Jeff Parker, legal counsel. From the board, Bill Wasserman, Brooke Booth, myself, Merlin Klotz, Don Langley, and Robert Canal. Time for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Are there any unscheduled items of public interest?
No.
Seeing none. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
We have none.
Any from the board? No. Seeing none. Board comments? None?
I just have one. I gave Jason a little bit of a challenge on one of the,
In years past, so always good to see. Even though we've had a lot of rain, you know, when we're out of priority, we keep it, but we're not allowed to pump wastewater in there. So we really don't see a bump in it at that time. Oops. I have a couple other updates I wanted to bring up. First, I wanted to introduce officially our CFO, Jason Leslie, to the board and to the public. And so Jason comes from Frederick, where he was the deputy town manager. And what I found interesting, because sometimes you look at towns and what's the overlap with the water district. So over at the town of Frederick, he was in charge of finance, HR, public works, engineering, and IT. Pretty much covers the majority of what we do. So he has a lot of good feel for what that type of work we do. Prior to that, he was the controller for Evergreen Recreation, the special district, as well as Commerce City. He is a Colorado native, which is quite unique, and he got his Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from University of Colorado, Denver, and then he got his MBA from Regis University in Finance and Accounting. And so when you get to know him like we have, you'll see that he brings a collaborative leadership style, which I absolutely love, and it's always been rooted in accountability, transparency, and service. And I feel very fortunate to find someone with a financial skill set, but the outstanding customer service and people skills, the genuine people skills that he brings. And so we're very fortunate to have Jason join us. So again, thank you, Jason, for joining us. So, the other update I was going to make, I wrote them down, but of course I forgot about them. On September 11th, so our next board meeting the agenda is pretty light. It's before we jump into the course. And so that's when we're thinking of doing a work session on financial policies. And so what I'm thinking, we'll have like a 10-minute business, and then we'll go straight to a workshop. So it'll just be a normal meeting in a way, and it's probably an hour and a half, max 2 hours on the workshop. So that's, if the board is fine with that, that's how I was going to approach it. So no different day, no weekends, nothing like that. We'll work it into the agenda in 2 weeks. So. Okay. All right.
That works here.
I want to make one comment. Yeah, we had another working meeting, I'll say, with Ron and Steve, and Rebecca sat in on that one too, kind of hashing around, you know, the direction we want to kind of take this and where we hope it'll land. So I think we're ready for the working session, ready to get the board together and you know, see all the options and start to dial this in. So I'm excited.
And if you need it resent to you, the AWWA paper, white paper they put together, I thought it was well written, especially for non-financial people like myself. So if you need a copy of that, it kind of gives you a good sense of what we'll be talking about. All right, I will pass this on to Rebecca.
I think most of you have heard my news. And so I just wanted to say a few things. I started with Parker Water in July of 2013. And then in September of 2018, I was honored to step into the role of Director of Engineering. And working at Parker Water has been a privilege. And I hold a deep respect for this organization and its leadership. My fellow directors and Ron, they've really helped shape me into the leader I've become. And I'm really grateful for their support and their guidance. Over these past 7 years, I've had the opportunity to participate in these board meetings, presenting programs and projects for your direction and approval, and it's been amazing. It's been a very rewarding experience, and you've all left a very meaningful impact on my career. I've learned lessons from all of you, and I will carry those takeaways with me. So, Director Wasserman, you've shown me the powerful connection between the small details and the big details, and those decisions that we make. I've even quoted you to my kids that if you watch the pennies, the dollars will follow. Your commitment to fiscal responsibility on behalf of our ratepayers is truly commendable. And Director Booth, your quiet grace and your thoughtful questions and considered opinions have shown me the value of intentionality. Your dedication in ensuring our customers understand their water reflects your true commitment to this community. And Director Knaw, you've exemplified the courage it takes to share a different perspective and a different opinion. And I deeply appreciate and respect your willingness to speak your mind. And Director Langley, we share a passion for data. And you've shown me how that passion can spark innovation and lead to new ideas and sound decisions. Your advocacy for affordable and equitable water service speaks volumes about your integrity. And Director Klotz, you've taught me that public service doesn't end with a job title or a term in office. Your vision for Parker Water and Douglas County and your drive to achieve it is truly exceptional. So as I look ahead to the next chapter in my career, I'm excited for what's to come. And I think regionalization is the key to this area, and I'm confident that our paths will cross again. And so your unwavering support you've given me, and all you have done for Parker, I just want to thank you for that.
I would like to say thank you. Well, thank you for your service here, for your time you spent here. We've grown about 50% since you started. And if you're going to grow a water district as capital intensive as a water district is, that is a major project. It's not a 5% a year, 2% a year thing like a typical commercial establishment. And so you've been in the middle of that. And I have no doubts it's been good training ground. And I've got no doubts our paths are going to cross down the road. So enjoy Shea and everything goes in Meridian and stay close. You're not going to get, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean, that was very nice, very much appreciated. And just so you know, you will be summoned before the Douglas County Water Commission in October, I believe. So we'll see you then.
I'll be ready.
Okay. I think IT, yep.
Evening. Just going to bring you some quick updates on the programs we're working on and some other updates we have. First up is the Brightly Asset Essentials program. This is the CMMS asset inventory management, preventative maintenance management, work order management, et cetera. So we had an inventory workshop that we did about a month and a half ago. We're doing part 2 of that starting next week, which helps us manage and track our inventory. We completed a user testing workshop for the first round of testing on our new system, Asset Essentials. We got a lot of great feedback from that testing. And based on that feedback, we've also did a post-UAT survey. We've gone in and made some pretty substantial changes to the system. So we're reloading the system, changing the hierarchy, simplifying some workflows, really optimizing the system to work for us. And the deployment now is in November. We'll start training at the end of October. Again, that puts us in the shoulder months as well. Much easier for the staff that's going to be utilizing the system to learn it and get familiar with it and start using it to the benefit of the district. On SpryPoint, that again is the package of modules and suites that we have for the CIS, mobile field mobility, Engage, our customer engagement system, which Nikki will be speaking about later, and then IDM, which is how the meter management system integrates with all of that. We're just beginning round 2 of user acceptance testing. I completed the 7th data conversion today. That basically is a reload of all data every time we do that. That's hundreds of millions of data points. Finished the 7th version today, so we'll begin round 2 of user acceptance testing. We're still doing some tweaks from the first round. We're on round 3 of billing data, AR and GL validation. Basically what that is making sure that what we intend to bill, what we're trying to bill, actually matches what we're billing in our current system. So they do a match. Right now we're still at over 99. Right now the last check was at 99.8%. So we're pretty good accuracy, but we're still gonna verify that for ourselves. This again is done on a mass basis with them running the process. So we're gonna check that ourselves and do our own internal matching as well, just to validate those results. Billing statement redesign, the second version of that is to come out tomorrow. Basically, we've done some real quick tweaks on that to make it look very easy to read, simplified design, very clear-cut kind of modular design so people can find what they need. And then we're in acceptance testing for a lot of the integration pieces, such as with our AMI system and our accounting system, GP, and some of the other things that we're working on. The one thing I would like to point out that was a real success that we had this week was Spry Backflow. That's a module that's included with the suite of projects. And we broke that off and went live early with that yesterday morning. It was an outstanding success, went very smoothly, continues to go smoothly. We've only been live 1 day, and so far we've had almost half of our testers that are out there register in the system already. We sent out a notification, 53 out of 118, I believe it is, already registered on the system, and we've had 35 reports submitted. Everything's matched up, working great, and we sent out 200 letters and notifications to customers as well, and everything worked really well. So that's a success, and that, I will tell you, came from some really, really disjointed aged data, and we had to put it together, clean it, scrub it, and to make it this successful with the amount of data that we started with, or the condition of the data we started with, is a real success story. So it gives us a really good building block to implement the rest of the systems. It shows us that we can achieve this with the work that we're putting in and do well with it. So we're gonna follow the same pattern as we go live with the other systems. So now we're in the post-go live adjustment and support with that project, but it's working really well so far after 1 day. Yes.
Is the replacement for Aquahawk a SpryPoint app?
Yeah, let me go back a screen. It's actually not an app, but it works, it's adjustable based on the screens. You know, it's a mobile adjustable. That's kind of the way things are going. But if you look on the screen there, the bottom, that's one of the screens that you get. This is a kind of a replacement for Aquahawk. This is what you're gonna get. Much more data-rich environment than you get with Aquahawk. Get a lot more comparison, et cetera. So, yep, so that's kind of a snapshot of what that Engage will look like with the replacement portion, the water meter management and the leak alerting system that's gonna replace Aquahawk that's on the single sign-on.
And this is
Will our customers be able to access this?
So Nikki will be talking about this later. She's going to give you a kind of a detailed approach to this and give you the details, but what we're going to do is do a soft go live internally so that we're going to test it actually in a live environment with our own, because we have some employees that are customers. So we're actually going to test it before we actually go live, which is what we did with Spry Backflow as a matter of fact. And it works well because you can work out some of the kinks, because there's always kinks going from test to production. They're going to forget to check a box, something like that. So we're hoping to find that a couple days ahead of time before we actually open that up to the public. So right now, the public will get it about 2 days after we go live with the production if the schedule stays the same. And Nick, you'll go into detail about that, but I think it's a great approach. It worked really well yesterday because we found, we actually went live a day early on Spry Backflow and found one of the settings had not been completed, and we were able to complete that before going live.
Guy, is the estimate like mid-October?
Right now, we're looking at going live October 20th, the soft go live with customers October 22nd, where they'll see it for the first time. But
They have
we'll
to
have
sign up?
information that comes out ahead of that.
Will they have to sign up to do it, or will it be an audit?
Go into more detail. So a person it depends on your registration status. So the way that we bill and the way that we monitor our records is that the owner of record and someone they authorize, like a manager or maybe a third-party payer, if they're registered and listed as an account person on our legacy system, they'll get transferred to the new system. And if they're registered for Invoice Cloud, which is our current system, that's now embedded in our new system. They'll keep their wallet, their ACH settings, their paperless settings, et cetera. But someone who's not registered, who is not a customer of record, will have to sign up. They'll still have the ability, but we're not going to carry over their records because they're technically not our customer. We allow them to carry that information, but they'll basically have to re-register. So that would be like a tenant, occupant, or something like that.
But we'll ride Aquahawk right down to the end of the year, right? I mean, about the time this
We'll do it
starts to
all
go, you know, is when we'll be blowing everything out. So this will be the end of Aquahawk, right?
Yep, in the Aquahawk, but we'll do a transition period because we want people to be able to monitor their leaks or their water use while they're transitioning. So we don't want to turn one off.
I mean, all the history will still be available, right?
Yes, so we started loading this history actually almost a year ago. So so what you see there is actual data coming in from our meter system, and we've been loading that live, I want to say for 9 or 10 months, since almost a year now. Since last October, I think we went live with that system, and we've been actually bringing that data in and storing it since then on our new system. So yes, so we'll have a whole historical load of data ready to go.
Go wrong with data.
No, we love data. Exactly. Any other questions that I can answer on any of these systems, or? And then, like I said, Nikki's going to go into much more detail about our approach and our communications plan and how we're rolling this out to the customers later. So she'll feel free to ask a lot of questions. She's going to have a lot of detail. It's a really good presentation. It'll give a lot of answers to how we're going to roll this out and how we're going to communicate with our customers and how we're going to, what our approach is. So that'll be a great one, and then I'm sure you'll have some more questions after that one too, because that one's pretty, it's got a lot to it, a lot of levels and a lot of layers. And then I want to just provide a couple of quick updates from our cybersecurity analyst. This is from Henry, and so this is the latest email statistics that we've had since the late June through late August, so about 2 months worth. And what IT did was they kind of locked down our email a little bit tighter, put some more filters in there, and increased the awareness of emails coming in and things that could be potentially fatal or a problem for us. And so what they did was they ended up blocking a lot more emails, but what they're also trying to do is balance that and work that out with making sure that we still have access to our business processes and our customers, et cetera. So it's a balance that it's a line you have to walk, but you have to be very, very thorough about how you approach this, and they're doing a good job, and they're still dialing that in, but have already taken steps to protect us even further, which leads to the next slide, which is why they're kind of locking us down a little bit more. This is our current threat environment right here. These are some recent incidents, and the first one's on the left. There's a ransomware attack. What's bad about this one is what they did was they took all the data out and then attacked and wrecked their backup. So now this company has no way to get their backup data, so they almost have to rebuild their system. So this was a very, very kind of a fatal attack on this group here. And so this is one of those things we want to avoid at all costs, this kind of ransomware attack, because now they hit your backup data as well. So this is one of the things we're trying to avoid. And then on the right, this is a pretty significant one. This was actually the state of Nevada had a cyber attack earlier this week, and the FBI and CISA is now out there investigating this, and they have teams working on it. They haven't disclosed what the attack was, but it's affected every single system statewide, from the DMV all the way up to payroll. So it was a pretty significant attack on a pretty large system for that state. So they're dealing with that this week right now. So that's the current threat environment we're in. So again, we're being real cautious, and it's a great thing that we have Henry as a cybersecurity analyst. He's really going to help protect our systems and set up a pretty good structure around here. So any questions on those slides? And if you have any questions, Jared will be back next time and can probably go into detail if you ever have any detailed questions about those as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I assume there's nothing from Jason yet. So I say, I assume there's nothing from Jason yet.
Yet.
He's saving it up for us. Okay, legal, please.
I don't have anything to update you tonight. Everything is super confidential, and so I'm just going to keep quiet. There's not a lot to talk about right now, so.
Okay. That moves us very quickly to approval of minutes for August 14th. Does anybody have any corrections or changes, adjustments to the minutes? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes, unanimous. Accounts payable. Are there any unanswered questions on accounts payable? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Financials, July 25, 2025, information only.
Hey, good evening. Well, this is probably the final presentation in the Steve era, and we'll turn it over to Jason, and we've told him, don't leave out the weather, so we'll make sure we leave that in. But with his experiences, I'm sure he'll be able to contribute a lot of good ideas to providing additional value add to our presentation. So to our last one here. All right, so operating revenues are $33 million, or 111% of their year-to-date budget. Capital revenues are $32 million, or 115% of the year-to-date budget, and operating expenses sit at $22 million. Capital expenses year-to-date are right under $16 million, and our cash on hand remains strong at $286 million, which really helps us contribute to a leveraged balance sheet. When you break up that $286 million, we have $64 million for operations and debt service payments, $115 million for the capital program and future debt service payments, and then we have right about $107 million that's restricted or reserved. The main portion of that is for our Platte Valley Water Project, $8.2 million in construction deposits, and then future debt service reserves as well. Total user fees for both water and wastewater are up 3%. Billed water consumption is down 3%, and water revenue is up 2%. And I'll get back to that point in a minute when we look at some of our graphs and explain why why the consumption can still be down, but the revenue is up. The total operating revenue overall is down about $500,000 compared to 2024 at the same period. What's really driving that is our interest revenue. So we don't want to send the wrong message and say our core operating revenue is down. That's not what we're trying to say at all. It's the interest revenue within our operating revenue. So at our highest peaks last year, we were experiencing 5% interest rates, and in some cases we're under 4% this year. So while 5% to 4% might seem like a subtle change, it's actually a 20% dip on your earnings and interest. So that's what's causing the operating revenue to be down the $500,000. On the single-family equivalents, we have 494 year-to-date compared to 278 in the prior year, and that's about $20 million in revenue year-to-date versus I think it was 10 or 11 million in the prior year. Operating expenses for both funds are $25 million. Expenses are higher by approximately $1.9 million. And then again, our capital spending is right at spend directed towards our advanced filtration, our WISE pump station, and our DIA connection, and also our water rights case. When we look at the billed water consumption and the revenue, as mentioned in the previous slide, we have a couple things going on there. So yes, consumption is down, but yet revenue is up. It affords us the ability to be up on revenue because of our fixed fees and also the increase in prices at the beginning of the year. So consumption can still be down, but we still bring a heavy revenue stream in on a month-to-month basis, primarily with those fixed fees and then our year-over-year increase. So just wanted to explain that statistic a little bit, with one going one direction and one going the other. On our billed water revenue, just illustrated differently, here's by month. Here's where we sit as of year-to-date July 2025. The revenue again is slightly up while consumption is being down. Going back to our single-family equivalent sales, we sit at a little over 400 year-to-date. This statement is nothing to be alarmed of. It's very neutral. It's just putting the information out in front of all. We've kind of exited out of our peak selling season of where we would expect to be on our single-family equivalents, and they are down relative to other comparative time periods. On that graph, you see where we were in 2021 and where we are as of today. We really haven't hit those peaks, and that's just a big signal that the developers are seeing a difference in what they are developing, what they expect to bring online in the months ahead. We know right now if the home isn't even started or the stage of construction is not at a certain stage, they're not even going to close their home by the end of the year, which is a direct reflection on the sales that we're seeing year to date. I think I took a quick peek at where we were as of August, and on consumer-based sales, we might have about 14 month to date, which is great, but it's not the typical August that we're normally exposed to. And we can expect probably not an uptick in sales through the remainder of fourth quarter, although December always presents a wild card. If the developers feel that they want to buy taps ahead of schedule, primarily to hedge price increases, they will. But we've seen our summer season is all I'm trying to say. So let those analytics be predictive for us. They can kind of give us a heads up on what to expect for our future capital revenues for the remainder of the year and level expectations on what that revenues can do for us.
Do you think that if the Fed drops the interest rate, that will be enough time to spike that up a little bit? Because I think that's part of what we're seeing here is that with the Fed, with the interest rate being held too high, your mortgage rate is up there, and so people are kind of waiting for it to come down.
I mean, you are exactly right in your statement that will induce future sales. Keep in mind, if some of those sales comes from homes that haven't even started yet, we're not going to see that activity this year. The developers just haven't shown the behavior that they're willing to buy those taps that ahead of their future month of sales. They're being conservative with what they're spending today. And clearly, if they can't close the home, they probably don't want to give us their $40,000 to $50,000 on their tap, and they'll wait till that home is ready to close. But I think that will cause a uptick in the trend in maybe first quarter, second quarter of next year when those developers get their sales in. So to your point, I think that's what we need in our development community is better response to the interest rates today. Right now, they're higher for the consumer. I think the last time I took a look, 6.7% with good credit. And while those were really good rates a long time ago, consumers just aren't really warm to those rates today.
Yeah, but that's an improvement in the rates that's happened without a change in the core rate that the Fed controls.
Sure.
Because mortgage rates follow generally the 10-year bond, 10-year treasuries, right?
Sure.
And 10-year treasuries have been more optimistic. So there's been a sag in mortgage rates from like around 7, a little bit over 7. I think I saw 6.65 was what I read today, where it's come down to. So there's already some improvement, but
Absolutely.
But it's not gonna flip on a switch. When the Fed drops a point or a quarter point, it'll take time.
Yeah, you have a good point. I think somebody like Merlin and I that live close in proximity together, right? We can move to Tantera, that really nice community they're building, right? But why would I give up a 2% interest rate?
Yeah, I mean, that's the
And I would
handcuff
really,
thing, yeah.
I would really want to do that. That'd be great to move into a new community, but you're facing those 6 to 7% interest rates. So, you probably alienate buyers like myself, but buyers that have no.
And a differential between the 3 or 4% that someone's in now and the 7.25%. And if it moves 0.25%, that's double the real impact
Sure.
of it coming down. And when you're looking at replacement housing, and so you say a quarter isn't much of a percent. If it moves 0.25%, that could be material on incentive for people to start moving up.
No, you got it. I think going back 2 to 3 meetings ago when we saw what the June sales were and the July sales were, it's a leading indicator to where we're going to be at. And unfortunately, the data is the data, but it was a lower selling summer for the residential side. The commercial side, we're seeing a different mix. All right, so here's the part of the presentation that won't be removed. You have above equal chances of experiencing higher than expected temperatures and below equal chances of experiencing, precipitation levels beyond where we would need them to be. Moving into our next point, while there's drought concerns and immediate drought concerns in the state of Colorado and our particular county, we're going to sit in that abnormally dry to moderately a dry area. We're not as severe as to the left of our state, but it is still a concern that's out there.
Yeah, I think-
Jason, you've got a very diverse background. Does it include weather?
Excuse me?
I said you've got a very diverse background. Does it include weather?
It's going to. If it doesn't already, it will in the future.
Yeah, I think this was a recent move for Douglas County to move into the first stage drought. That just happened with these last updates, so
But August was the
it's drying out.
third
yeah.
or fourth wettest month in recorded history, I think they were saying. I saw that yesterday or 2 days ago on the...
Well, the last 3 days have been crazy.
I was going to say, for sure, a lot of rain in the last week, that's for sure.
Crazy, yeah, crazy rain. We'll
I would
take
say
it.
this report was ran on the 19th before this latest round. So I think when they update this for next month, we may see us shifting back to where we were in the previous month.
It depends on whether it was sufficient enough to change soil moistures, because that's a measure of soil moisture, right? So it's still trending the way we'd not like it to, right? But hopefully more rain. We'll always take it, right?
Correct.
With Jason, the goal is to actually get you guys accurate weather reports. So we'll be working on that.
All right, any other questions?
Seeing
And
none from the board. You got one, Bill?
Director Langley, we received your 4 inquiries earlier this afternoon, and the good news is we'll be able to respond to those tomorrow, using opportunity to work with new folks internally, primarily Jason, and I have a newer supervisor on my team, just to show how we go through the data, pull the analytics, give informed responses, but you'll have that at some point tomorrow. So thank you for sending those in.
Okay, you're not going to do them tonight.
No, I'm going to use the opportunity to train others. So no.
Oh, and I appreciate...
That's fine.
Well, I appreciate you sending them to us early. That really helps. Unfortunately, it came to me and I didn't pick them up till like 4:30. And so we just didn't get the time. So,
I thought you would just answer those off the top of your head. No?
yeah, I can, but it probably won't be accurate.
All right, well, next month, we're going to let Jason run with the presentation unless he needs my assistance. I'm here to help, but we look forward to what he can bring to our ongoing presentations.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, that brings us to Resolution 2025-06, modification to employee handbook, second reading.
Okay, I'm going to take this one. We've given you a presentation as kind of a heads up. We did first reading a couple weeks ago. This again is the second reading. The idea behind this is to modify the employee handbook that allows, and I know you've heard this, but I think it's good for our audience. It allows existing employees that are full-time to go part-time, and still, they make their salary, or not their salary, but their hour. But the key is they get to keep their benefits up no more than a year. We're thinking we want to give ourselves flexibility. Most will probably be in the matter of months, but the idea is to have someone help train and help document procedures why we bring on someone else on board. So I think it's a good thing for us because we have that. I think it helps with our succession planning and just helps us transition. I think it's good for the employees. It's a softer landing into retirement. And so we feel pretty confident it's going to work. But, again, we'll reassess after a year. We do have one employee that's going to take advantage of it, so we'll have a good sense how this works. But I think it's a good thing to do for the team. So with that, I answer any questions.
Any questions? Okay, do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-07, authority for certain financial matters.
Okay, I think I'm taking this one as well. I don't have a PowerPoint for this one? No. Okay.
All you're doing is
So you guys have it written down in there. This whole thing is transferring the authority from Steve to Jason and keeping me on there as well. So it's just some house cleaning that we're doing.
Any questions?
Does this require two readings, though?
Well, all your resolutions, your policy is 2 readings, but you can always waive that if you want to. And do
Yeah,
it in one reading.
I think on this one,
It's important to waive
it's
it.
important there, and
Yeah.
it's not really affecting the public in any way. It just gives Jason ability to carry out his job.
Consensus, or do we need a motion to waive that?
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's have a motion to waive that requirement.
So moved?
Have a second? We have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, resolution 20 dash,
Sorry, go ahead.
okay, resolution 2025-07. Do we have a motion?
So moved?
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a vote?
Yes.
Yes. Request for approval, Regional Pond to Cherry Creek Pump Station pipeline.
Great, so I'm going to invite Stephanie Sansom up to present this request for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, and good evening. So yeah, I'm here to request approval of the construction of the Regional to Cherry Creek Pump Station parallel pipeline. Quite a mouthful. So just a little bit of the project background. The purpose of this pipeline is the construction of a new 24-inch pipeline between Regional Pond and Cherry Creek Pump Station. This line will parallel an existing 16-inch pipeline that was put in some time ago, which transfers water from Regional Pond to the Cherry Creek. The pipeline will be used to capture additional flows in the system, leading to increased flows in Reuter-Hess Reservoir. Project components include about 9,300 linear feet of 24-inch pipeline, a trenchless crossing at Hess Road, connections to existing pipelines at both Bar CCC and Regional Pond, a flow meter at Cherry Creek Pump Station. Right now, we don't actually have a flow meter down there, so this is just to make sure we're capturing accurate flows that are going in. And then also putting in a potable water line at the South Water Reclamation Facility. That one's a little off topic from the regional to Cherry Creek. That water line was designed as part of some of the South Plants improvements by the same design engineer, HDR, who did the design of this one. Just because we'll have a crew out, it just made sense to put this pipeline in with that contract. Just as a note, there is a second tunnel under Stroh Road that was designed as part of this project, but we've actually had an agreement with the town of Parker, who is putting in a new bridge over Stroh Road, and they're actually installing that pipeline for us. So we don't have to do a tunnel, they're just doing an open cut and putting that in. So just a little quick visual of the alignment. Right at the top is the force main connection at Bar CCC, and then force main connections at Regional Pond. So those will connect to the twin 16 effluent lines that come from the North Plant down to Regional. The green line is actually kind of the main pipe alignment from Regional to CCPS, showing the Hess Road tunnel, a tunnel that I mentioned being installed as part of the Stroh project by the town. Connection to an existing 30-inch line. So that stub out was actually included when the original 16-inch line was installed, kind of in preparation for another line that we knew we would have to have. And then the piping connection and the flow meter down at CCPS. And again, those two kind of force main connections that might seem out of place because they're not connected to the main line, that's really, again, just to provide that flexibility to collect those additional flows from the system.
Where's the Cherry Creek Pump Station exactly?
Where is it?
Yeah, I see it down at the bottom, but where is that actually? Where is it physically? That's what I'm
Where's the pump station physically?
Yeah.
It's actually located
Like
off
right
of
there.
Stroh.
Stroh Road. yeah.
Stroh Road and like Motzenbacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's by our pumping, where we pump up into the
Yeah,
reservoir.
it's often
That is-
referred to
that
as
is
the
pump station.
diversion structure. It's where the dam is, and then the pump station itself looks like that red barn type
Right,
facility
right.
over there.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the south plant, it's just a potable water line at the south plant. And that's just honestly to provide a loop connection. Right now, there's only one source of potable water to the south plant. So this will just allow, if something happens to the existing potable line connection, we do have a source of water to the south plant. Contractor selection. So the invitation for bid went out in early July. We received 9 bids in the middle of August, which we were all very surprised. It's a hungry market out there. We had 1 incomplete bid and 8 complete bids, ranging in costs from $7 million to about $10 million. And our selection process is to recommend the low bid, which is HEI Civil. We did do our due diligence and call references and make sure that all we heard was good things. They do a good product. Their field crews are easy to work with. And the project budget. So just a quick summary there. So this is everything that's kind of been associated with this project so far. So the design contract with HDR, who is the design engineer, and then we had 3 amendments with them, various things from tree surveys to the Stroh Road crossing, and then their engineering services design during construction, excuse me. The Town of Parker Stroh Road crossing, easement acquisition, and then our construction contract with HEI Civil. So the total amount spent to date, which includes the construction services, about $8.7 million. Our CIP allocation for this is $13.6. There will be some additional easement expenditures when we start doing the temporary construction, but I don't expect that to be too much. So we will have budget left over on this one. So when we get to the project budget and schedule, the requested contract amount is the $7.041 million with a 10% owner-managed contingency. Again, as stated in the previous slide, it is within our 10-year CIP. And what we're looking at in terms of schedule is hoping for approval this evening, notice to proceed tomorrow, and then substantial completion in November of next year with final completion at the end of December. Any questions?
You say, you completion 25 or 26?
26. Sorry, did I say 25?
I don't know. Your 2 sentences are kind of overlapped in my mind.
Oh, so board approval and notice to proceed in 2025 and the completion in November and December of 2026.
Okay,
So about 15 months.
okay. That makes sense. Okay,
Question?
done.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the modeling of the existing reuse schematic that came out of the master plan. So it's the line diagram that shows this. And my question is, because I want to make sure, I think what I'm seeing is, this connects to the 2 16-inch lines that come from the North Water Reclamation Facility. So it connects into those. And then you have the option of either dumping in the regional pond or going straight to the Cherry Creek pump station, correct? So is this not our last link in linking AWT from the North Plant
It does.
all the way to Reuter Hess?
Yeah, so we've always had the 1/16-inch, so we could get all our AWTs that we currently produce to the diversion structure and then pumping it into Reuter Hess. The 30-inch allows us for the expansion at the plant, as well as getting additional alluvial flows into down to the diversion structure as well. So it allows us to capture all those AWT flows and additional alluvial flows that we can pump into regional and then pump from regional to the diversion structure.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Next between the twin 16s so that we can actually, it's allowing us to pick up water from different locations in the process and discharge those in terms of Sulphur Gulch, Regional Pond, and then at the diversion structure.
Yeah, I mean, this is very important and very cool.
Does this meet the needs for full build-out of the North Plant?
It will meet the needs of the full build-out.
This one, yes, not from,
the
not
30-inch
from the North Plant to Regional Pond, but from Regional Pond to CCPS, yes.
Okay,
So we'll need an additional pipeline when we get the plant to full expansion, but it won't be between regional and the diversion structure. It'll be between the plants and to regional.
Right.
okay, so eventually, we may need another parallel line between the North Plant and regional.
Correct.
So right now, those are the 2 16-inch lines?
Yeah,
So when the plant expands, there may be a need for another,
not this expansion, but
That'll be
our
for
future.
build-out.
yeah, I mean, full build-out.
Yeah,
Full build-out, yeah.
correct.
Okay,
Okay.
makes sense to me.
What is encouraging is we're seeing costs come down on construction a little bit, so that's a good trend. If you notice, the cost was a lot less than the budget, and so hopefully that continues.
Take advantage of the low times. Any other comments? Robert, you're quiet tonight.
It's all good.
Okay. Do we have a motion on this? We ready for a motion on this?
So moved.
Any other questions? We've got the motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Informational discussion, 2026 budget priorities.
Skipped one.
What I did? Information, oh, Spry Point. I wanted to skip that one, I think.
Again, Nikki was going to give us some more detailed information. And Nikki, I just want to thank you for stepping in until we got Jason on board. So she did a great job, and so thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Good evening. So I hope this presentation lives up to Guy's hype about how detailed it's going to be. And so I'm here tonight to present our customer communications plan for Spry Point, which is going to be our new billing system, and our customer portal, which is going to be Spry Engage, and that will be replacing Aquahawk. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing pre-go live, go live, and post-go live, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what staff is doing to get ready for the change and how we're going to support our customers. So pre-go live, up until this point, we've already sent out 2 very high-level communications tidbits on our statements to our customers, and we also mentioned it in our June customer newsletter. We have 2 billing inserts that we're going to be doing. The first one will be in the September bill, very high-level communication, only a 3rd-page insert, but it'll be separate from the bill, and it will have coming this fall, so a little bit more context of when it's coming, and then it'll have some additional information about what they can expect and some of the new features. And then we'll also be highlighting that in our September customer newsletter, and it'll be the same communication that's going in our September bill. And then October bill is going to be a full-page insert of FAQs, and that's really what's going to let our customers know what's coming, what to expect, the impact, how to register, and the timeline. So lots of information in that. We will have an online payment system outage, and this will be required for the final conversion. Right now it's scheduled from October 15th to October 21st, and there's 2 reasons for this. One is the actual final conversion and the cutover is going to take 4 days, so we can't take any payments or anything during that time. Part of the reason that it takes so long is because if, you know, we have a very old legacy system, Billmaster, everything is very slow. And those data conversions that Guy works on all the time, they take a very long time to run. So that piece will take about 4 days. The other thing is our payment processor, Invoice Cloud, their business practice and business model for these types of conversions and cutovers, they won't do these on Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So that leaves us with Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Our plan is to be live that Monday, the 20th, and to be fully ready. There is a potential that the system could come back online Tuesday, but they promised us Wednesday, so we're going to communicate to our customers Wednesday, and if we can get back online by Tuesday, then that's a win. Our internal go live, as Guy mentioned, we're doing a soft go live, will be October 20th. And so we will be going live October 20th, and that's 2 days to test things, get in there, check it out. Again, we're going to have that working session with Parker Water employees who utilize these services. They'll be in a room with our customer care folks and going through what it's like to sign up. Is everything coming over the way we expected? Does it all look correct? So making sure that we are seeing what we expect, so that if we don't, we have a couple of days to go back and figure it out and make corrections before it goes live to our customers on the 22nd. So on October 22nd, we will be sending out an email to our customers, almost 17,000 people, and that will be, hey, today's the day, we're ready for you, please sign up. We will be doing social media posts on all of our channels. The website content will be updated. Ned and Deirdre have been working on those pages already, so it'll be a seamless change. That morning, everything will be updated. We'll do a homepage news story, obviously have the FAQs on there, an alert notice, so a banner text saying that this is happening. And then obviously we'll be updating all of those pages where our customers go to get information. Then we will be doing a Manage My Water. So this is for all of our folks that currently use Aquahawk. We have this on our website now, but this will now show our customers a step-by-step guide and a how-to video on how to register for Engage. And that's the platform that will be replacing Aquahawk. So post Go Live, our communications, we'll have SpryPoint on site the following week of Go Live, just to make sure that we have the support for our staff. We will have post-implementation support through Q1, and then at that time, we get transferred to a customer client success, which will be with that group after that initial Go Live and post-implementation. We'll be introducing our new bill in November, which will be really exciting, and that'll go out in the November bill, and then again, we'll need to update the website at that time with the new bill design information. We'll be setting up reminders to sign up, and again, this will be through social media posts, through our website, and then targeted emails for those folks that haven't signed up yet. Just letting them know that Aquahawk will be discontinued by the end of the year, so they have time to transfer their alerts and make sure that everything's working properly, and they're seeing the things that they're used to seeing. So what is staff doing to engage and support this transition? So pre-Go Live, we have end user training that's starting in September and October, and that impacts billing, customer care, field services, and accounting. We have a mock Go Live that's happening in October. This is a 3-day event, and this will prepare the deployment team. So this afternoon, Guy and I were looking, and we're at 130 items for cutover that we have to make sure happen, and that list seems to be growing. So that mock Go Live will be going over that checklist and making sure that we have everything covered. It'll help us identify any pitfalls, any things that we may be missing or didn't think about. And it'll also help with the timing, understanding how much time this is going to take, and that we've scheduled enough time for the actual cutover and Go Live. So Go Live, all hands on deck. The deployment team will be executing the cutover plan, which will be, again, a multi-day event. I think we start on Wednesday, and we'll work through the weekend so that we're ready to go live Monday. We'll have trained and prepped PWSD customer care staff. This team has been amazing. They have been testing. They have been in the system every day. They're working between field services and billing and customer care on service orders, making sure that everything is working properly, giving suggestions. They've had just a great attitude and a great outlook on this. I couldn't be more proud of that team. So they will be ready to go. They're very excited. We will have online system guidance for our customers. So when they go to log on to the new platform, if they're having issues or they don't know what to do or they're confused, we'll have information on that landing page that says this is who you need to call for support so we can help you. We have SpryPoint on-site support team, so they will be here for pre-Go Live that whole weekend, and then the following week post-Go Live. And we'll have someone here for customer care to help with those customers that are logging on to Engage. We'll have somebody here for field services to help with the field mobility piece. And then we'll also have someone from SpryPoint to help billing and accounting, making sure that everything is going smoothly there with our integrations and the transition is going well. And then we will also have EMA on site for support, and they're really a major role for them will be making sure that our cutover checklist is done and needed to do to be successful. So post Go Live, really this is all about assuring success. SpryPoint and EMA support will continue. We'll be monitoring feedback from our customers and from our staff and making any program adjustments that we need to make sure that everything is working efficiently and we're meeting the needs of the customers and the staff. And then really important, we'll be documenting all of these workflows and processes that are brand new to the team. And this will continue to ensure that we're training and that we are managing that knowledge and making sure that everything is flowing and working properly. Questions?
I think you've got a very, very good plan. I'm still very concerned about, regardless how good the plan is, many of us have got so used to having our internet and our water and our utilities and a dozen other things on automatic billing, and So it's real easy to not notice that one doesn't come in. Our HOA changed billing service. I missed it for 3 months. And so you've got a great plan. I'm just still real concerned about those of us that are just so used to the automatics come in and we don't check our bank account on a daily basis, so we don't know that it didn't come in on the 5th. And so I'm just, you're doing a good job. I'm not shooting you down. I'm just saying.
I appreciate that.
You've been, appear to be very thorough in what you're doing on this plan. I'm still just concerned about that we don't let too many slip through the cracks.
No, for sure. And I think, too, it's a matter of, there will be mistakes and there will be some things that slip through the cracks. But I think what's important is how we handle it and how we manage it and how we treat the customer, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important. And again, our customer care staff, these customers are so important to them. And so, you know, all of us have been on this project for 16 months, and it's near and dear to our heart, and we want to be successful, and we know it's going to be a little painful and a little difficult, but we're committed to making it as seamless and easy for them as possible, and recognizing when there are issues, because there will be.
If you're planning for one email, you need to send 3 or 4 or 5. It's just
It'll
whatever.
never be enough, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But you'll get it. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
But I'm just
We will,
very,
yeah.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes,
and
please.
Answer your question. So we've had several meetings actually in the last 2 weeks with this integration with InvoiceCloud, our established payment provider. And what they've assured us is whether you register or not, if you are an InvoiceCloud registered customer, as I mentioned before, that fits into those parameters as a registered customer, both on InvoiceCloud and our legacy system, that whether you sign in day one or 2 months from now because you forget that we changed systems, your paperless and your ACH settings will continue regardless, because we'll still have those settings in the billing system, so we'll know.
Okay.
So that's what we've been assured, is that this will continue regardless, because we know there's going to be customers that don't do that. They're going to delay changing or re-registering, so we want to ensure that they still keep their same settings and we don't lose them in the cracks. So that's our goal.
Is there a way to send out a text message? Like Xfinity did the Canyons, the neighborhood, they did an outage, and they texted people a few days beforehand, and they texted you that morning to remind you you're going to have no service from like 6 a.m. till the end of the day. And that was super helpful. And just seeing on the, like the Canyons page, people saying, yes, I got the alert, so everyone had a heads up. And that was just a great way of communication. I don't know if we have access to something like that.
Don't we have issues, dear? It's if people have opted in for text messages, so if you haven't opted in for those, we can't push text messages. And that's not even on our current system. That's just when we get into Spry Engage.
Yeah,
We'll be able to do that.
And our legacy system doesn't have the power to.
We will.
Well, we
Would we
will.
want-
That's one of the things we're going
Would we
towards.
want to put it out like on Nextdoor? That might be, you know, as a, you know, we're going to be down, you know, those timeframes and stuff. It's just another way of getting it.
That is part of the plan, to communicate some of those things on those social media channels, especially the important information that may be more impactful.
Have we modified now the normal letter that's going to go to people that have their, you know, automatic payment in there? I'd mentioned that to Ron, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or whatever. When I looked at mine, it was kind of like, you know, you're doing this, but if you don't pay some of that stuff, which I thought was really harsh to go to somebody that's having automatic payments and stuff. And I know we were talking about modifying. Will that be on the new system now?
So the notification that you're getting is the notification that anybody that's on paperless gets. It's not for people that are on auto pay. So it's just the notification that you've actually received your bill and that you have a statement waiting for you. So it doesn't have to do with you being on auto pay or not. And that notification, we have to let folks know that if they are past due, that they have, that they could potentially be up for suspension. But that's a notification to anybody that's on paperless, not specific to people that are on auto pay or not on auto pay. It just goes out to everybody.
I know, but I think that when we send out that notice there, and especially that was really, in my opinion, was too harsh for customers, you know, especially somebody that's paying. And I think we need to really look at that. I know we have a few people that don't pay, but the majority of our customers pay, and I think we need to be cognizant of that.
So Bill, I mean, so we did talk about it. if you're someone that automatically pays, you get a notice, and it doesn't have any language on there that talks about shutoffs or anything like that.
That's been changed because that was not the case before.
No, that's always been the case. What you got was the letter to everybody.
Okay.
And so everyone gets a letter, and on the top of it, when you read it, it says, if you, is it ACH or whatever, you don't have to read beyond this. Then you read the bottom part, which is meant for everybody. It talks about that 90-day. It's important we have that 90-day in there. Otherwise, we'll,
No, I understand it's important. I just think that, I'm not sure how we do that, but to me, it's poking the customers in the wrong way. And, I understand maybe there's two systems. Maybe we need to separate that. I don't know. But I just think that's wrong.
well, we can bring this forward to the board and maybe show you what we're doing just to get direction. Because again, if you're ACH, you get the notice. It thanks you for being on ACH, and there's no mention of 90 days or anything, if I'm right. But the ping to everyone, hey, your bill's coming, at the bottom of it, it does talk about that. So, and I believe it's important that we have that in there is it a legal requirement that they know?
Probably not a legal requirement but I think we do need to notify people some way before we shut them off.
Yeah.
So it's,
I'm not arguing that, just,
but sending out 2 mailings costs money, of course, but. So let me bring forward what we do and see if you guys have ideas. But we're trying to take and scrub out any negative feeling language from the ACH folks.
So when you said all of it's going to, it's all going to transfer over if they're registered users,
Correct.
will they still have to log back in and re-sign up?
So how
After a
how
few
we're
months?
setting it up and what they've told us in the latest meeting, because we've had to go back and forth this to ensure that they could sign off on this. So what's going to happen is if you will go in with, if you're an existing user with those conditions, you'll go in with your existing credentials. And what it's going to do, it'll say, okay, welcome back. We've recognized you. You need to install a new password. That's one thing you will not get from any system transfer anywhere is a password. You have to always redo your password. No system will ever transmit passwords between systems. In fact, they don't even know your password. Everything's always encrypted. So it'll prompt you to sign up a new password, but it recognizes you and it'll take you right into your settings. Your wallet will be the same, your ACH settings, your paperless, your account, everything will be the same because it'll recognize your email address. But it will prompt you to do a new password, so that will be something new.
What will be different is that you'll have to sign up for your alerts. So you'll be able to do it from that same page, but you'll want to go ahead and look at your AquaHawk account and see what your alerts are, if that's how you want them to be, and then you'll want to mimic that in Spry Engage.
We are going to do some default alert settings, but it's still probably something we'll advise people to review.
And that's part of the reason for leaving AquaHawk up until the end of the year, is it gives our customers a transition period to be able to transfer those alerts.
Have a going away party for AquaHawk.
Want one? I know it's near and dear to you.
Well, I mean, it's been, I'd say it's kind of been like having a old pickup truck around. I mean, it got the job done and, it was there when we needed it. It was reliable, but ready to move on, sure.
Hasn't changed a bit since 2016.
So it's a pickup truck, yeah.
Yep.
It was interesting. I was over in Billing a couple weeks ago, and we're getting ready to send bills out. And it's Data West, I think, right? We call it Legacy, probably to be nice to them, but it's Data West. It crashed. And I'm like, that sounds like a bad deal. We're supposed to send bills out. And everyone's like, it's what it does. And they just restarted it, and we're waiting for it to do it again. And so I'm just praying we get to October, because if that crashed for real, that would be a major problem. So, and I think there's one individual that supports all Data West users. So,
And I think there's less than 30 customers that are
Yeah.
left.
so it'll be a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Informational discussion, 2026 budget priorities.
So,
Good evening. I'm here to walk through our budget priorities for the 2026 budget process. I feel I'm stepping into this role at a really good time in the budget cycle. I've been able to get up to speed with where departments are, working with our consultant on the cost of service study, and then getting the budget to a point with the team to be able to present you guys a preliminary budget at the second meeting in September. So tonight we'll walk through some of those budget priorities, get any feedback or any questions you may have along the way. For each year, we want to share with you the priorities for the upcoming budget to make sure that these also are aligned very closely with our initiatives in our strategic plan, as well as looking for feedback. The first item of priorities is capacity. These are projects over the next several years. We'll be recommending funding in the upcoming budget to increase capacity at our NWRF and water plant. We also want to make sure that as we talk about those projects, that we always want to drive forward that growth pays for growth, so that much of the cost for the additional capacity is paid by new growth and the operational cost is paid by current users. In addition, this category also includes any new water, main, sewer, and septic projects, as well as backup generators, and to build additional redundancy within our system. The second priority is security. Those are both for physical plants and such as security upgrades and as well as cybersecurity. So again, separating our business network from our operations network, detection software, running dedicated fiber to critical locations, disaster planning, and radio communications. Our next priority is technology. Again, you will continue seeing funding requests for new applications in development, like you've seen historically for customer billing, work management, and field mobility, as well as requests for lifecycle replacements of SCADA equipment, computers, and servers, et cetera. Workforce development and retention is another priority. This includes new employees as the district continues to grow, some training, the salary and benefits, as well as continued support of our wellness program. This also includes our health insurance, which we have been working with Human Resources and our broker to fine tune and see what those final numbers are coming. We should have those included in the budget that is presented to the board at the end of September. And so we will keep fine tuning those pieces to make sure we offer a robust total compensation package for our employees. The next budget priority, regional utility, regional focus. Again, it's continuing to foster and develop our partnerships within the region. Most likely the known examples are WISE and the Platte Valley Water Partnership, and our partnerships with Castle Rock, Town of Parker, Lone Tree, and the City of Castle Pines. Our next budget priority is water quality. So again, wrapping up our filtration project and multiple well houses, as well as the oxidation project in the reservoir. Always keeping an eye out for current and future regulations. One that we are currently keeping an eye on is the expected water efficiency and conservation. That's we're working towards water budgets for large irrigators. The new customer billing application will be key in supporting that initiative and making sure that it also helps reduce the size of our future infrastructure needs. Again, repair and replacement. Maintenance of our existing assets is very important to making sure that we keep our equipment and infrastructure in good working condition, and it provides our customers with a reliable source of water. This is a major part of our funding needs. Next one is communication and strategic planning. Communication with our customers, our employees, and all stakeholders have been and will continue being a priority. We have the Citizens Academy, the long-term water fee, were successful communication efforts undertaken by the district, and so we're going to continue moving forward with those key strategic goals and the communication plans, making sure that we are staying in front of providing our customers with the information they need. We want to stay focused on our core mission of providing water and wastewater services. And again, as we get our cost of service study back, making sure that if we have reasonable rate adjustments, that we do smaller increment annual increases to meet the long-term needs, but also promote efficiencies where applicable. Some of our next steps are to incorporate suggestions and comments from the board into our preliminary budget. Things we're currently working on and the team's working on is we are finalizing our 2025 expected spending and revenue estimates, which is going to help us determine what our needs are for 2026, fine-tune our healthcare costs and other employee benefits, recommend any system development fee adjustments, recommend any rate adjustments when we get that information back from our consultant, and also work with rate-funded capital transfers. We'll also work on finalizing our budget message and cash projection worksheet and continue to identify capital continuation funded projects. Kind of for our upcoming budget calendar, again, we'll have the preliminary budget for discussion delivered to the board on the September 25th meeting. During the 26th and October 3rd, we will meet with each of you to walk through that, to identify any questions, any areas we need to go back and fine tune. We'll also put on our website on September 23rd the notice of our public hearing. We will be receiving our preliminary rate adjustments from our consultant around the week of September 29th. Those original department budgets have gone out to our consultant yesterday, so we'll be working with them over the next couple of weeks, so we make sure we have those adjustments on time. We will have the public hearing announcement will go out in the October bills to let residents know. And then we have our proposed budget, and rates will be presented at the October 9th meeting. We'll have it posted on our website on the 10th, and we will have a hard copy here for public viewing at headquarters. We will make sure that our notice of public hearing is published in the local paper as required. So the public hearing for the 26th budget and the rates will be on the October 23rd meeting, which will then have final resolutions considered on November 13th. Any questions that I can hopefully answer? If not, I will gather to get back to you.
Yeah, a couple of things I'd like to circle back to. We talked about budgets for large irrigators. My recollection was that we were going to try and establish these budgets in 2026, try and get those all lined up with large irrigators, but then it'd be 2027 before we implemented the higher rates for exceeding budget, correct?
Yeah, that would be accurate. We're still in the data gathering process of creating those budgets and determining the irrigated areas and what a budget should be. So that the 2026 year is really going to be putting the program together, piloting it with a couple of HOAs, and then ideally rolling something out for 2027 if we feel like we're ready. So I can't imagine we wouldn't be, but we gotta, the piloting will tell us something.
I would certainly hope we would be by then, yeah. But I mean, I think it's a good program. It's gonna be hard. I mean, I've learned a lot this year, and it's gonna be hard. So we talked about running the cost of service model, and I think, talking to Ron here, that I had, we had an agreement with Steve that we were gonna try and flex this model a little bit and see if it could actually give us kind of some scenarios, some scenario outputs to look at what would be the impact of holding or even reducing fixed fee, what would you have to make up in variable fee later on. Also, where the breakpoints are in the inclined block structure, if we could kind of poke those in. And I don't know if this model's perfectly suited for this, but we agreed we'd exercise it and see what it'd tell us. So I guess we need to set up maybe some time to try and do that and work through that.
Yes, and our consultant is aware that we have some models or situations we want to model to be able to do that. So they just got the data yesterday. And so it usually takes some while to get the first run, but once they're up and running, we can do multiple analysis. So,
and I think that'll be interesting information.
I did ask. So a year ago, we brought down the tier. I can't remember now, 20 to 18, I believe.
2018, yes.
And so it's like, do we have enough data to see what that did? You know? And so I'd like to see that as well. What I'm told is weather is always the main factor on usage. And so,
We're all always trying to see through the weather and using ET parameters and whatever it is. I mean, that's always there. But, we can work at it pretty hard.
can we tease something out of that that helps us understand the impact?
I mean, the other thing we did this year was we kept the fixed fee constant, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But we bumped up the long-term water $1.50, so we went from $1.50 to $3, but we did keep that so those were two kind of, a little bit different approach for us. I'm anxious to see what we can kind of tease from this model and see if it gives us any insights or whether we're still just going to have to kind of, use what insights we have and then feel our way a little bit too, so.
And Carol is going to make herself available to come speak to the board as well. We haven't done that in the past. Steve
That'd
had
be
the
great.
cost of service type stuff down pretty well, but it's never a bad thing for you to meet our rate consultant and let her speak to that as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I've got a comment. I like the, excuse me, the budget priorities. But I did have kind of a little bit of concern about the where you have the reasonable rate adjustments. It kind of seems like we're going into this with the assumption that rates are going up. It's just the way it's written to me. It seems kind of, it gives the assumption that a decision's already been made that rates are going up just the way it's kind of worded. So, like I said, I like the priorities, but that to me says that the priority is to minimize the rate adjustment going up versus just looking at rate adjustments. Who's to say that rates aren't going down? So we don't know, right? I mean, we kind of assume, but the assumption based on that priority kind of makes me feel it's starting off in the wrong direction.
So it could be more of a, well, I mean, there's a whole discussion there, and I think it could be as easy as required rates fall under that, but there's also the rate smoothing discussion that we'll have at the meeting. If you can go a couple years without rates, but then you have really high rates down the road. So I think that's probably a good discussion, but we can modify that language a little bit.
No, and I understand there's a lot of pieces and elements that go into that. Just when you summarize it, as your high-level priorities and bulletize those as they are here, it gives me the impression that it's being approached in a different way than it actually is, just by the way it's worded.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Any other questions? It's a good framework.
Thank you.
And it's always fun time getting budgets in line. And my perspective is, when it comes to rate, we've got to limit a cost of living index. And as long as we've got increases in cost of materials and cost of labor and cost of health care and all the other components, we're probably going to have a rate increase. I think it falls in the probability category. But to me, the limit is what's the cost of living index? What's CPI doing? And no more than CPI. And
So there may be a challenge with that. So
yeah,
just to get it out there, CPI right now in Colorado is somewhere between 1.8 and 2.1.
yeah,
And
it's a challenge.
no one's told our electrical company that at the 5% rate increase, and but we are seeing construction costs come down. So I'm not going to get too excited yet. We have some challenges this year, and there's a reason we don't want you to see the sausage being made, because we need to get through that first. So, but it's going to be a challenge this year, I believe.
I think the construction cost going down is going to, we have to look at that too, because that is going down, so that people, like the public, everything's just going up and up and up. We need to actually think about the public when we do it.
I do have some good news that Jason reminded me of when he went through this that I wanted to pass along. So our wellness program is pretty strong that we have here, and it's one of our budget priorities. And so the work we did last year, I don't know if you recall that if we could get everyone to do a physical and do some work, it was going to help lower rates. And so we were told Parker Water has the lowest rate increase in the Front Range when it comes to benefits, health insurance. And they can put numbers to that, which is always hard to do with the wellness world. Right now, and this could move down a little bit more, we're looking at a health insurance rate increase of 4.9%, which is pretty good considering what the rest is. That's 8.9% less than if we wouldn't have had our wellness program in place. So you're seeing, I think, finally seeing some payoff to having this wellness program. So that actually equates to $170,000 a year in savings. So.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll drop the hammer.
All right, thank you.
Meeting adjourned.